Hello everyone, Mr. Happy here, and today I want to talk about the new abilities that Monk is going to be getting in Final Fantasy XIV's first expansion, Heavensward. I'm doing one of these videos for every single job. So far I've done Summoner and Bard, but from this point on, the rest of the jobs aren't really controversial, so I'm just going to be giving you my thoughts on the new abilities and how they should be integrated into rotations going forward. Of course, this is still tentative information. The things they've told us can change, and we don't have all the details, including potency, cooldowns, all that good stuff. So it's just a generalization of my thoughts. Also, I would like to state that these are just my opinions as well, so feel free to have different ones and feel free to discuss them in the comment section of the video below. But without further ado, let's get to this video's topic, which is the new Monk abilities. So Monk is pretty much known as a powerhouse in the final coil of Bahamut, so the idea of them giving them even more tools to perform well is a little bit funny to some of us. But of course, Dragoons have had an up and coming as well, and ninjas, under the right circumstances, are just as competitive among the three melee. So things are pretty equal outside of the utility the three jobs bring. It seems like Monk's not necessarily going to be getting more utility, but they're going to have a more meaningful way to transition into certain phases of fights. So they say that the original concept of Monk was to just maintain Grease Lightning 3, but of course a large rise of fights where you just lose Grease Lightning altogether and may or may not have perfect balance available to you, it's become a bit more frequent. So they are going to try and give us a reason to use our Grease Lightning stacks on an ability and then gain them back after. But before you panic and think, alright, I'm going to have to lose Grease Lightning 3, this ability better be real strong, let's go through their explanation of a new system for the Monk. So the biggest addition to the Monk job is the new system known as Chakra. Think of it like Defiance in the Wrath stacks. You're going to be gaining up to a maximum of 5 stacks of Chakra, and once you reach the max amount, you can spend them on an ability. Now, they've only listed a couple of things here, for example, a high damage weapon skill, and also the ability to restore TP. Separate from that, they also say that there's going to be an ability that will allow you to change your form, which assumes that, you know, for example, I'm not hitting an enemy and I need to be in a different stance when I'm able to hit an enemy. It seems like you'll be able to forcefully change your stance with this ability, but again, we don't know all the details for that. And most importantly, a weapon skill that consumes all of your Grease Lightning stacks to deal a high amount of damage. So that's a little bit concerning because Monks, their power comes from being able to maintain their stacks right now. The change in playstyle going into the expansion is going to be the ability to know when to spend the stacks and then to get them back immediately through the use of some of your new abilities. And they explain that right here. With all these new elements, you'll be able to spend your Grease Lightning right before a boss becomes invulnerable. Let's use Titan Hard Mode as an example. He jumps in the air at what, 90, 80, and 60%, and then of course after you kill the heart. In this scenario, you would want to spend your Grease Lightning stacks right before he hits 90, like pow! Tons of damage. Good. He comes back down, you immediately regenerate them all, jumps up at 80, bam! Again, assuming, of course, the cooldown is short enough to allow that. And then, again, he comes back down, you regenerate them all, again at 60, and etc., etc. I think you get the point at this point. So, and then, while they're invulnerable, it says to progress through your forms while saving up Chakra until you can attack again, which leads us to believe that you're going to be able to generate Chakra without needing to hit the boss, and that these stance changes are going to be frequent enough in order to save up Chakra. Of course, this could just be very poor wording on the part of the official forums, but I'm just going with what I got in front of me right now. And then it says you can gain Grease Lightning again. With this, there will be no downtime. So with the term no downtime, to me means I'm going to leave the boss and expend my 3 stacks of Grease Lightning, and when the boss comes back down, I'll immediately be able to get those 3 stacks back. That is, to me, what the definition of no downtime is for a Monk. It also means that you're still going to be performing actions while these enemies are invulnerable, which makes Monk an even more active job. So overall, it seems like they're just trying to eliminate that one point of weakness and add another level of mastery to the Monk. Knowing a fight and knowing when you're going to be able to spend your Grease Lightning stacks is going to be more important now. And still maintaining your Chakra stacks to the point where you can come back and get all those stacks back is just as important. It's a level of mastery that, if done correctly, should eliminate the weakness of having no Grease Lightning or fights where bosses or enemies become untargetable or invulnerable for periods of time, which has been the only real weakness a Monk has had up till this point and has made Dragoon very competitive with them after their buffs. So I'm really excited to see how this is going to be integrated into new fights, because this has got to be an important aspect. On top of that, just needing the burst damage from something like the Grease Lightning 3 ability, it could be a really, really interesting way of utilizing burst damage. Somebody asked me this question on my Monday video. Do you think burst damage is going to become even more important in the expansion? And it's hard to think otherwise. Almost every job got a new ability that allows you to burst down a target much more efficiently, or eliminate some form of weakness, or add some level of mastery. All the jobs got this treatment. So I'm really interested to see how the monk one ends up panning out. And I actually, for the first time since 2.1, went and played my monk, which was actually a lot of fun. It was my favorite job. It was supposed to be my initial main back in 2.0, and it just reminds me how much fun I find monk. The fast-paced action, the constant movement, and this is just going to add another level on top of that. So overall, I'm excited for these changes. They seem pretty, not so much drastic. It really feels like they are just adding on top of what the monk already does, and it's not so much about changing the way that you do your boot shine into true strike, into demolish, or, you know, it's probably a terrible example because that would never be the way you'd start a fight. That would never be the way you start a fight as a monk. But you understand what I say, just going through the 6 main abilities you have in your rotation, and then just constantly swapping forms. Looks like that is going to stay the same, but with the additional mastery level on a per fight basis of knowing when to use these abilities. And maintaining your grease lightning stacks should be a more fluent process altogether. Fluent? Fluid? Fluid. I'll go with fluid. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of this quote-unquote no downtime addition to the monk. Do you think monks are going to be quite strong after this, are going to be even stronger than they already were? Are you upset that maybe they just got more damage? It seems like they did not get necessarily more utility, other than the fact that they can regenerate their own TP now. So I guess I need to goad somebody else as a ninja from now on. I don't know exactly what to think of it all, but if just the system of spending your grease lightning stacks and getting them back is the main thing I'm really looking forward to. Let me know what you think in the comment section of the video below. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next job-related ability thing video person. Okay, thanks for coming by.